Hello there, welcome to a breathing-inspired Kinstretch class. This is going to integrate some postural restoration ideas with some Kinstretch ideas. It's a little bit prop heavy because we really want to support your arms and legs so that you can really make change in your torso area, your rib cage. So to that end, you'll want either a ball, sort of this size. Volleyball is probably too big and a tennis ball is definitely too small. So it's kind of a sweet spot size. But if you don't happen to have that, a roller will work, especially the smaller, shorter roller will be great. If you don't have any of those things, a yoga block or a pillow will work in a pinch. We'll also want a pillow for your head. So if you need a pillow to stand in for those rollers, you're gonna want two pillows, okay? In addition to that, if you happen to have a balloon on hand, then definitely grab one. I know some of you already do, and some of you are like, what in the frick? So we'll integrate that today, not just good for the sound effects. And then lastly, you will need some wall space. So we're gonna change our camera angle a little later to show you that, but you'll want some clear wall space, both that you could reach to from a standing position, but also that you could put your feet on from a laying on your back position. So make sure there's clear wall space from the floor all the way up, and we'll get over there in a second. All right, let's dive in. You can set your props off to the side except for your pillow to go under your head. I'll take your balloon, Hannah, cool. And then go ahead and lay down onto your back to get started. Okay. Now we're going to use this position to introduce the type of breathing we're going to use throughout today. So if it's a little foggy for you, just know you're going to get lots and lots of practice. Step your feet a little further away from your heels. And then take a moment and sense into your feet so that you can pull the floor towards your butt, but nothing moves. So it's like your feet are super glued to the ground and you're starting to engage the backs of your thighs. Okay? You might want to start with that with just a little bit of effort to really feel that area turn on. And then once you've locked into it, use that area to curl your tailbone under. Good. Notice how I didn't say use your abs or anything else to curl your tailbone under because we want to make sure the stomach stays soft here. So go hands on stomach, feel jelly belly, but feel the back of your thighs working hard to curl your tailbone. That will also have the effect of making your lower back flatten out into the floor. Okay, and then see if you can use those hamstrings to get even more flattening out of your lower back. All right, so this is called a hook-lying position, a little different than just laying on your back. From here, reach your hands to the sky and really ask those fingertips to reach as far away from the floor as you can. You want to almost imagine that if you continued to reach, you'd start to crunch up and lift your head off the pillow, but you're not going to go that far. So it needs to be a very strong reach from the arms and shoulder blades, but the head and spine is melting down into the floor in the opposite direction. All right? Now just relax everything down for a moment. Okay, so Hannah was just kind of, let a sigh of relief out because that's a very active position actually. And the goal here is that your legs and your arms have a job so that we can now use your breathing to influence your torso, all right? So in a second, we're gonna get set up in that position and then I'm gonna be cueing your breathing. We'll do a couple rounds of it so you can really try to get a feel for it. Start by sensing into your feet, pull that floor towards your butt, to curl your tailbone under as much as you can, keeping your belly soft, and then making sure you really feel the backs of your thighs, reach your hands up to the sky, feel those shoulder blades slide off your ribs to reach up to the sky, and then check in on your neck, make sure it's relaxed through the neck. Head is heavy. Okay, legs and arms stay on. Now take a breath in to prepare. And then on the exhale, I want you to blow out imaginary birthday candles that are right at your fingertips. So really actively push the air out and keep pushing until you're empty. Don't breathe in yet. Push that air out, really feeling the muscles in your abs. Keep those muscles on. Slow and silent inhale through your nose. You will not be able to take a full inhale, so just partially in. Again, blow that air out. Invigorate even more contraction through your abs and ab wall. Keep that contraction on as you slowly and carefully breathe in through your nose, trying to send that air into your back or into the floor. Again, exhale, blowing the air out, getting all the way empty and not breathing in yet, and then calmly inhale through the nose. Last one, keeping the legs and arms on, blow that air out. Feeling your rib cage pulling down because your ab wall is working. Keep that working feeling. Final inhale into your back. Trying to feel your rib cage expanding into the floor. And relax everything. Good. Okay, so just a quick note here. This position, sort of locking yourself into this position, does expose your body to a shape that might feel very panicky for you. I just want to say that and normalize that, because if you're starting to feel that, doesn't mean you're doing it wrong actually. It means that you're touching in on a part of your body and a way that your body needs to function that you're not so strong at yet. Okay, so I really want to just normalize that, because many people at first struggle with that moment of abs staying braced and asking for an inhale, asking for breath into your ribs. Okay, so it's not a contradiction, it just might be something that's new for you. Okay, let's do it one more time to really feel into it. Your main goal here, now that you've got a sense, is that your ab wall, so not the front of your abs, but especially the side of your abs, is on and contracting and you can feel it. Your secondary goal is that you're expanding into your back, into the floor when you inhale, okay? So keep those goals in mind. Let's sense into the feet. Feel your feet super glued. Pull the floor towards your butt, feeling your hamstrings turning on. And make sure your knees have not fallen out to the side or collapsed in towards the center. Just a little detail. Now curling your tailbone under using your hamstrings. Keep that hook-lying shape in your pelvis and then reach your hands to the sky. See if you can reach 1% more actively than last time. Can you find a little extra effort to reach your fingers forward while your head stays relaxed? And then inhale to prep. Exhale to find that ab wall. Blow the air out. Feel your ribs pull down. And then keep that ab wall strong as you inhale silently through your nose. You might only get to 50% full, and then again, blow the air out. Still feeling your feet, still reaching with your arms. And now inhale silently through your nose, trying to feel your ribs expand with air. Again, blow that air out, finding that active contraction in your ab wall, keeping that. Slowly breathe in. Only as much as you can without losing the ab wall. Blow the air out. Great work, folks. Blowing, holding that empty feeling, feeling your ab wall. Last inhale through your nose. Trying to breathe straight down into the floor while your abs stay on, and relax. Awesome work, okay? So now from here, we're going to see how your spinal motion is affected by some breathing work. So come up into hands and knees for a quadruped cat-cow segmentation. And I invite you to set your arms up in any position that makes you feel strong in this hands and knees. Same goes for the feet. And then once you've found that shape, brace your body, pushing your hands down, pushing your feet down, and feeling like you're now a muscly statue. I couldn't push you over. All right, from here, chin pulls into neck. Trying to send your spine into a stretched shape on the back of the spine. And feeling that stretch work its way down your back, one segment at a time. Very nice work. Once you're all the way rounded over and your tailbone's curled under, see if you can blow the birthday candles out again. Find that ab wall and use that ab wall. Add it to the mix of what's keeping your tailbone curled under. Chin reaches away from neck now to start exploring spinal extension. Stretching from the bottom of your chin to the front of your neck, through your sternum, down below your sternum into the top of your belly, and then into the front of your belly, and then finally reaching your tailbone to the sky and finding a complete stop. Really feeling that active effort on the back of your body. And relax. Awesome work. All right. So you're going to now move on over to the wall, and we'll get you set up there. All right. Now, getting set up onto the wall for this next drill, you'll want to be on your back, but close enough to the wall that you can find about 90-degree bend in the knees and in the hips. From here, you're going to want your block, either a round ball like I was mentioning in the warm-up, or a roller to go in between your thighs. Okay, and then also a small pillow underneath your head to support your head. That is a pretty important detail, so make sure that you hunt that down. Now I just wanted to show quickly, if you're using a roller, how you would set that up so that you can smoothly roll your thighs. It would be something like that. Okay, so you obviously don't need a big roller, a short one works almost better, but really you need to be able to roll one thigh higher and the other thigh lower, okay, as we work. So whether you use the roller or a small ball, go ahead and set that up between the thighs, okay? And then take a second with hands on belly to feel just soft, no tension in the stomach, sense into your feet, and use that sense to pull down on the wall, trying to sense into a hamstring contraction effort. Once you lock into that, also squeeze the ball to sense into inner thigh contraction effort. And then using all that leg strength, curl your tailbone away from the ground until you're actually lifting your hips slightly away from the floor, but your belly is still relaxed. Great. So from here now, keeping the ball squeezed, feeling your hamstrings, shift your left knee straight downward so that your right knee is now higher than your left knee. Okay? That might take a couple reps to practice, so you can bring it back to even, and then try one more time, left knee going lower than the right knee. Okay? Once you settle into that position, it might be just a little bit, then really sense into the hamstring and inner thigh of that left leg, and that's the basis for this drill. Add to that your right arm reaching up overhead. Good. And then if you were using a balloon for this drill, which is an option, you would hold the balloon in your left hand right up to the face. If not, I would recommend putting your hand on your left ab wall to sense into that area. Okay. From this body setup, you're going to begin your breathing. Breathe in to set up, and then blow all the birthday candles out to find that active exhale. Blow hard and really feel your ab wall turn on. Keep it on. Breathe in silently through your nose, trying to expand into the floor and feel that rib cage fill up with air. When you get as full as you can, repeat the exhale, finding that complete strong squeeze and holding an empty sensation for a few seconds, and then silently beginning an inhale through your nose to send air into the floor, into the back of your rib cage. Good. Continue for 3 more breaths, or until the balloon is full if you're using a balloon. Each time feeling that left ab wall staying on as you inhale. That might not feel easy to do at first, but that's what we're aiming at. Each exhale finding more ab wall. Each inhale trying to feel more expansion into the floor, into your back. Final exhale. Good. And relax. Great. Now this is very active for the legs, so if you want to move the block out of the way for a moment. This second round, we're just going to show a few variations that we might recommend to you, or you might try out on subsequent watches of the class that will intensify this drill just a little further. One way is, as I mentioned, using a balloon. This does make it harder, but it also makes a bit more sense to your body. So if you have it, I would recommend using it here on this round in the left hand. The second piece is that I'm going to invite you to make your right foot light or even lift off the wall after we've achieved that setup, and that will really force your left leg into action, all right? So those 2 shifts, otherwise we're just gonna do a second set of what we just did. So block between the thighs, feet on the wall, pull those feet down the wall to feel your hamstrings, feel your inner thighs, and then curl your tailbone away from the ground to find that hip lift without any ab crunch yet. Okay? Once you get here, send your left knee lower than your right, and really be sure it's your left knee, okay? Got to be clear about the sides. Okay? Then from here with the right arm overhead, slowly ask that right foot to get lighter and lighter until your whole body weight is resting on that left foot pulling down on the wall. And then balloon in mouth if you're using the balloon, and start with an exhale, blowing the air out, strong, push, 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 feeling your ribs pull down into your ab wall, hold empty, and then inhale through the nose without squeezing the balloon neck with your fingers. Blow out again, fill up the balloon, feel those ribs pull down, feel your left ab wall, keep your left ab wall as you inhale. Breathing into the floor, great work team, 2 more breaths. Blowing, blowing, blowing. Feeling that left leg staying active. Breathing in. Final exhale, blowing that air out. Feeling that empty sensation, keeping that contraction for your final inhale. Try to expand your rib cage, but not your belly on that inhale. And relax. Excellent job. Now coming up to standing, you're going to want to face the wall at about an arm's length distance away so that you can reach both hands out in front of you. Now the goal of this drill is kind of to build off of what we have been working on, a feeling of expansion into this upper back, and only through that expansion are we able to find a maximum amount of flexion in the upper back, which is really key for all the motions of the spine. So starting here, we're going to cue some breathing, and then you're going to need to work your feet further back from the wall until you find this spot for your body where you can barely touch the wall, okay? So it's going to take a little fine tuning on your own, and we'll guide you through it to find your proper positioning. So setting up with the fingertips barely touching the wall, take a moment to sense into your feet. Bend your knees slightly so your knee bend is soft, and then curl your tailbone under. Okay, now it might not be a lot of motion, but the goal is that you're never going to let your tailbone reverse. So yeah, exactly. As we start to do this reach, your pelvis will really try to reverse. So you need to spend most of your focus on keeping that tailbone curled under. Okay? Now from here, as you take a breath in to prepare, you can step back from the wall just a little bit. And then as you exhale, reach your hands to the wall, but not letting your tailbone lift, okay? Now, if you're able to touch the wall here, you're gonna need to work yourself a little further back. If you're not able to touch the wall, then step your feet a little bit further forward, okay? Good, okay? Now from here, just stand up tall for a moment. So we got a little bit closer to where we need to be. So now the drill, we can really focus on the breathing component of the drill, all right? So sensing into your feet, feel your heels in particular. Bend your knees slightly. Scoop your tailbone under. Good. Now keep that scoop. Reach your hands forward. Take a breath in to prepare. And then as you exhale, blow those birthday candles out and reach and round to try to find the fingertips touching the wall without leaning into the wall. As you inhale, send that inhale into your upper back to try to expand. As you exhale, round further, making sure your tailbone is still scooped under. Good. Let's keep going for reps. Inhale to expand your back. Exhale to round, and use that expansion for more flexion in your spine. Good. Keep going, 2 more breaths. Feel free to adjust your foot positioning slightly if you find that now it's easy to touch the wall, or maybe you're not able to touch the wall. You'd have to step closer. Last breath. Good. And go ahead, stand on up. Okay, take a moment to relax here. Now, as you get a feel for this drill, there's a few reasons that we might be asking you to do it. First reason is to feel that expansion into your upper back from a standing position. For that, you'll really want to make sure that your tailbone doesn't move, like I said, but also that you're not shifting your weight off of your heels. And that's a very inside game thing to feel, especially when there's no one watching your work. So really sensing into your heels to start will set you up well to do the drill correctly. The other reason we might be asking you to do it is as a little bit of an assessment drill. For that, you'll want a tape measure, and we would just use that to measure how far your big toes or your heels, doesn't really matter which one you use as your metric, are away from the wall. Okay, and that'll be different from person to person, but as you progress, you'll find that you're able to work further away from the wall. All right, let's do our second set now. So sense into your feet. Feel those heels really staying planted on the floor as you bend your knees. Curl your tailbone under. And try to be extra sure this round that you're not going to let your tailbone reverse and go into extension. Then take a breath in to prepare. And then as you exhale, blow the birthday candles out and reach your fingertips to the wall, only reaching as far as you can without your pelvis changing shape. When you're there, adjust, either back if you are touching the wall easily or forward if you're not touching the wall. Come forward just a little bit, Hannah. Yeah, there we go. Good, okay? Then as you're making contact with the wall, every inhale is about expanding into your upper back. Every exhale is about rounding further forward, but not because your pelvis is moving. Keep that pelvis curled under. Yes, very nice. Good. Last few breaths, just taking care to make sure you're not leaning on the wall. Your body is amazing at finding ways out of this challenging position. So stay with the work on every exhale. Stay with that expansion idea on every inhale. And final blowout, really a strong breath of air out. And then relax. Good. Very nice work. Shake it out. And we can stay standing now for our final breathing drill of the day, where we're going to be using a balloon if you have it, or just standing open on the floor and you won't need the balloon. It's just an option. For this standing breathing drill, optional to use a balloon can really help, but if you don't have it, no big deal. You're going to want to stand in some open space and then stepping your feet about hip width apart, step your right foot about an inch forward of your left foot. Doesn't have to be much. Make sure both feet are flat on the ground. Now from here, consciously shift your weight over to your left side so you can really feel centered over your left heel. Let your knees bend a little bit and then scoop your tailbone under, staying centered on that left heel. Good. From here, you'll reach your right arm straight back behind you with a little internal rotation. So it's like we're doing that shoulder car. Okay? And then your left hand is either placed on your left ab wall above your hip bone, yep, so right on the waist, or holding the balloon if you're using it. I'm going to have Hannah show with the balloon today. Okay? Now from here, this kind of odd position, your main focus needs to be on that left heel. Take a breath in, and then blow the air out, and feel your rib cage pull down into that ab wall, holding that empty feeling and feeling that ab wall stay on. Keep it on as you silently inhale through your nose, feeling expansion of your rib cage, both the back and the right side of your rib cage, and then follow through with another exhale. Every exhale is about finding that ab wall. Every inhale is about expanding your rib cage without letting go of that ab wall side. Keep going here, 3 more breaths or until the balloon is full. Good. As you exhale, feel those ribs pull into your rib cage, allowing a little flexion of your spine. Every inhale, reaching back behind you a little further, and let it go. Good. Go ahead, take your rest and just walk around the room. Okay? The goal of this particular drill is, again, to translate the work we do on the floor for changing your rib cage and changing your breathing dynamics into a walking position that we need to use all day, every day. All right, so we really want to make sure your breathing is able to work this way even when you come up to standing and live your life, okay? All right, let's do one more set here. So settle into a standing position with feet about hip width apart. Step that right foot slightly forward of the left, and then shift your weight onto your left heel with a little bend in the knees and a scoop of your tailbone under. Take a second here to make sure you can do those things and still stay on your left heel, right? Then reach your right arm back behind you, grab that balloon, and on your first exhale, feel that the strong feeling of your exhale maybe rounds you into a little forward flexion, and then maybe laterally bends you into a little lateral flexion. It's not about doing those motions, it's about inviting those motions if it helps you exhale. On your inhale, reach that right arm more behind you. On the exhale, blow out hard so you find more contraction on your left side. Inhale, reach that right arm behind you to feel the back of your arm and your right upper back working hard. Every exhale, blowing that air out. Finding that empty feeling and holding it before a silent inhale to send air into your rib cage, not into your belly. Good. Nice. One more inhale and exhale before we relax. Staying centered on your left heel and asking that right arm to reach as you do your final inhale. Good. Blow that air out or let it go. Good. Very nice job. Okay. Empty the balloon. Nice. Take a little walk around the room. And pat yourself on the back because that was a great job. Let us know any questions about these very weird seeming setups. I can tell you there's a specific reason for all these little placement details, and I'd love to dig into them with you a little further. But for now, have a great rest of your day.